We're going to start off this video with everyone's favorite, and that is Neapolitan pizza. We're going to start here by downloading an app called Pizza App. And on this app, you can basically specify exactly how many dough balls and how much each one will weigh, the water percentage, and the salt content, and how long it needs to stay. So for this particular recipe, I made 6 dough balls, each weighing 330 grams, 66% water, 3.7% salt content. This basically meant I needed to find 1,167 grams of flour, 770 grams of water, and 43 grams of salt, with basically about a teaspoon or 0.2 grams of yeast. Now, what you'll notice that I did here is I mixed 2 different types of flours. One is the all-purpose bread flour from Costco, and then the other one is the King Arthur 00 pizza flour. I mixed them basically half and half. So that gave me the best ratio. It's what I've done before, and it makes a good pizza that's easy to work with, especially with this water content that I chose here. So we're going to go ahead and check it out, and look at that. Look how easily it stretches. This is after about 10 minutes in the KitchenAid of it mixing and the dough ball actually working itself through. So the longer you have it, the more the gluten will develop and the better the pizza dough will be overall. For this initial part, you basically just want to do some minor folds into it. The dough's still kind of hard. It hasn't relaxed yet. So just give it a couple folds here and there. I like to do like a little booklet fold and then kind of fold it in and of itself. And then I usually put it in this pizza container, the smaller one that I have here, and I'll let it sit. After about an hour of it being sitting in this container, this is what it looks like. You can tell it's really soft, and each fingerprint stays in the actual dough itself. And this is when I'll do my actual folds. So I'll fold it over again, I'll check the gluten content, make sure it's nice and stretchy and it doesn't rip. If it doesn't rip, you know you've hit the jackpot here. Do this a couple more times. And now, since I made pizza the day before, I put it in the fridge. So typically this is a 24-hour proof, which means that if I make it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon the one day, it'll be 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. the next day that it'll be ready. This is after a whole night in the fridge. I basically took it out in the morning and I did some extra folds on it. The dough's actually kind of hard at this point. It's not soft anymore because it's cold, but I still did my extra folds and stretches. And again, all this does is it strengthens the gluten content and makes the dough extra stretchy and basically not rippable. At this point, I put a little thermometer inside that I could check the temperature of the dough itself, and then I basically popped it in the oven. Turned off, obviously, with the light on though. After a good couple hours, you'll see that the dough is risen to a good amount. Almost swallowing my thermometer there. This is where you're basically gonna put it on your workstation. And we're going to start making our dough balls here in just a second. Fold it out. Get the good shape. Usually you want to fold it into like a little giant sausage roll. It's just easier to work with. And remember, we're going for 6 dough balls, each roughly 330 grams. Now what's interesting is, after a whole night, I live in a very dry climate. So even though I sized everything for 330 grams, and 6 dough balls, I actually lost around 30 grams overall, probably in just water content. So something to keep in mind: if you live in a very dry climate, you're going to lose some water due to evaporation. If you live in a humid environment, then don't worry so much about that. You can keep the water content the same. When you fold your dough balls individually, you want to do an individual small fold like this. Follow my hand movements as I do this. Basically, you're folding the ball in itself multiple times and then making the actual ball. And then you can put that into your big container for the final proofing. And that final proofing will be basically until you're ready to cook it. Cover it up and let it sit. So I actually have a Gosney Arc XL, best oven I think I've ever bought. It's perfect for my size. It's 16 inches in diameter on the inside, and with my 14-inch peel, I can actually put a 15-inch pizza in there, no problem, with ample room on the sides, so I can actually, work with it. Make sure you get good mozzarella here. This is the one from Costco. It's pretty good. And just get one that isn't too watery. And if it is watery, go ahead and just let it drain. We got some Italian sausage. I like to pre-cook it a little bit. I don't want to have it so raw on the pizza dough. And here's my lovely basil, hydroponic. Get a couple leaves. With the oven being so hot, the flame temperature being so high inside the oven, it cooks the meat pretty quickly. Get yourself some mushrooms, clean those bad boys out. Do not wash mushrooms. They're not meant to be washed. Just give them the good peel, get rid of any dirt you see on them, and that's all you need to do. If you wash them, they become mushy. And that's it. And this is get your Parmigiano Reggiano. Critical for one of my pizza toppings that I have later on.
Can I have a piece?
My kids love it. It's amazing.
Let me show you how it is.
For your sauce, you want to choose a really good quality sauce. I like to use some Marzano tomatoes. They are probably the best and the original actual tomatoes for pizza.
Quando sabato?
You can get this type of brand. It's called the Cento brand, or Cento in English. And you can get the organic ones, or you can just get these that are not organic. They're also a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And then just put some regular spices, oregano, salt, pepper, and a little bit of onion powder in there just as well. And I like to give it a good immersion blender just to get everything put together. In reality, you're actually supposed to squash these by hand, but I didn't want to do that this time, so it's just going to be straight up with the immersion blender. Now you don't need to make the tomatoes fully blended. You can keep some minor chunks in there, just like I did here. And there we go, we're ready. So make sure to sprinkle your workstation, sprinkle each dough ball with flour, because you want to basically separate them from each other. You don't want to pull them apart, you want to separate them like this. Get yourself a good spatula. I actually ended up 3D printing my own spatula. I couldn't find one that I liked online nor at any store, so I just made my own. And when you fold, you want to start from the middle part with both your hands going down. Don't press into the dough, but press onto the dough, if that makes sense. And then gently stretch it out, being careful not to rip any areas. And you can also do the slap method if you want an extra spin. Don't try spinning it. That's just for show. No one does that. Make sure you put your sauce over the pizza. Not too much. Otherwise it will become soggy and it won't cook, and it'll facilitate tearing. Put your basil, your cheese. Some people like to put Parmesan cheese or Parmigiano cheese on the pizza at this stage. I actually don't, because I do not like the flavor of burnt Parmigiano, nor cooked. There we go. Make sure you put a little bit of flour on your peel. Slide it over. Remember, this is a 14-inch pizza peel. Try to stretch it as best as you can without ripping it. Put some olive oil in the shape of a 6. And there you go. Ready to go in the oven. So the oven, you want to be at least 450 degrees Celsius or above. Anything lower, you're not going to cook the bottom of the pizza as well. You see here I'm at 497. I actually ended up lowering it down a little bit. And I actually burned a little bit here as well because I forgot to look at it. Let it cook. These pizzas in this oven take about a minute and 10 seconds to fully cook. You don't want to go more than that. It'll become too crispy and then too burnt. Remember, we're dealing with 500 degrees Celsius. That's around 900 to 950 degrees Fahrenheit. And there we go. This was my first trial pizza. Usually it's the ones that my kids eat first because they're hungry. This next one, I take some baby arugula, sprinkle some olive oil and salt on it, give it a good mix. And we're going for our third pizza, actually, because I made one in the middle, too. My camera died at this point, so I had to set it for recharging. Make sure that every time you make a dough ball, you close your container. Again, I mentioned I live in a dry climate, so anytime I leave the dough exposed, it'll dry and leave a hard film on the top of the dough, and that makes it harder to stretch. So for this one, I just do mozzarella cheese, basil, and some mushrooms, and some olive oil, because the actual toppings will be added later. Turn the flame up. You can see my cat's pretty curious of whatever I do. This is actually one of my favorite pizzas. If some people do not like the acidity of tomatoes, this is a good option. Because the baby arugula has a little bit of a peppery taste. And then with the extra toppings you're going to see on there now, you're going to like it too. Trust me. So as I mentioned, put your arugula on. I think it's called also rocket in the US. And here's our Parmigiano Reggiano. Not cooked. Sprinkle it on top. And then for the final, I put a couple slices of mortadella on there, which makes it taste so much better. For those that don't know, mortadella is basically the OG bologna in the US, but it's much better tasting than bologna. Or bologna. And there we go. Look how beautiful that is. It's gorgeous. Tasted amazing. Healthy. That's the most important part about this type of pizza. It's healthy. Compared to American pizza, this is a whole different shebang. Look at those colors. This is another pizza I made right after. Made 6 total today. And this one came out large. These are about 15 inches in diameter. For the last one, it's where I usually do to make my kids really happy. A little trick I learned. This is a special one. Just watch. Get some ice and put it over the pizza without pressing into it. Just enough. Put that in the oven. And what the ice does, it prevents the middle part from poofing up too much and from burning. I get rid of my water on it, and then I actually put it back in the oven just to cook off just a little bit of the bottom. This will all be worth it, I promise. And here we go, the reason why my kids wait till the end to eat their pizza. Nutella on a hot pizza makes for an amazing dessert. Give it a try if you ever have a chance. Super yummy. Also, arguably quite healthy. I actually pop it back in the oven just to give it the extra crisp. This pizza got completely devoured in a minute. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe if you like this video. Stay tuned for more, and ciao for now.